So that's the Kennebec. And it actually looks like it's running pretty fast. I don't think I would try to swim this thing. We're gonna cross this and then we get into a new section. It's gonna be 37 miles to Stratton. It's gonna take a couple days. And we're gonna get into the Bigelow Mountains shortly after that. And then that's where the big climbs start and they continue all the way through New Hampshire. Just get some of the AT experience here. I love the canoe though, because you know, you read about this and see about it for like years and years before we actually can come out here and do this. This is so cool. And going across the Kennebec. And there's a hiker on the other side waiting for his trip. Okay, day 15 continues. We're at 151 miles. Just got dropped off by the canoe ferry, which took us across the Kennebec River. And we got about 38 miles to get to Stratton and a couple days to do it. So looks nice. The weather is pretty good. It rained last night, so I would like to dry my tent out if I get the opportunity. But that's it. I'll just keep walking. So this is a gigantic tree. You can see the base of it here that has blown down and is blocking the trail down there. And you just can't get through there. So people have created an alternate trail kind of up this way, up a very steep bank, very muddy. So that thing's gigantic. Eventually they'll be out here to clear that. But that is a really big tree. A big pool right there, pretty deep. And then apparently, supposed to go across this thing. That looks super sketchy to me. And it goes up the hill there. I don't see any other option, but that thing looks scary. Well, I made it across that thing basically by just crouching down and holding onto the side logs as I walked. It's wet and super slippery, and it bounced the whole way across. So that was quite an experience, but I survived. So this is Pierce Pond out here. And this is Pierce Pond lean-to behind me. Typical lean-to. So today is July 4th. And so these really nice people pulled up in a motorboat right there at the shore. And they came and they brought all these coolers up here. Super nice. So this one has brownies and some kind of sausage biscuits. This one has fruit and Gatorades. And this one has homemade pasta salad. So just the sweetest thing to do. And they left it all here and went for a ride in their boat with their golden doodle Tucker, who was having a time of his life. So really, really grateful. That was really kind of them to do. So happy 4th of July. So this is the start of day 16, and slept great last night in my tent here at Pierce Pond. It's about 6:20 in the morning, and there's a gentleman that has a small little fish camp here, and will serve breakfast to the hikers. So we signed up for that last night, and I'm heading over to get some famous pancakes and coffee, and then I'm gonna get on the trail. 15-mile day today up to Flagstaff Camp site. It's going to be a pretty long day, so I need the pancakes. And Summer Fi and Recon out. So this is Mr. Tim Harrison's Pierce Pond Lodge. So he gets a lot of fly fishermen, I guess, and vacationers. And he's about 10 minutes off the Appalachian Trail. And so hikers come in for breakfast. I just had an amazing breakfast. He gave me 12 pancakes. I could not eat them all. Sausage, eggs, and coffee. So I put some of the pancakes into Ziploc and they'll make a great lunch today. It was just great meeting him. He's a fine gentleman and kind of a piece of Appalachian Trail legend. So I am leaving Pierce Pond. I've got to get back on the AT and heading south. So Recon out. Here, moosey, moosey, moosey. Here, moose. Here, moosey. I think there'd be any place to see a moose being here. Oh, day 16 continues. I've got maybe an hour. No, not quite that long. Probably just about a mile. I gotta get up over this thing. It's pretty steep. And that'll be 15 miles for the day. There's a campsite on the other side of this hill. And it keeps thunderstorming kind of all around me, but hasn't landed on me yet. So I'm hoping to keep lucky here and get over this thing, get my tent set up, and hopefully avoid the storm. So anyway, it's steep, and I am getting kind of tired. So I made it to Flagstaff camping area. This would be mile 170 south of Mount Katahdin, and dodged the thunderstorms. It started to rain kind of a little bit ago. I got my tent up real quick and got inside. So I was able to get here though and go for a really nice swim in that lake. It was hot, I was sweaty, and it was really nice to cool off and get some of the mud and grime off me. So this is it for the night. I think it stopped raining for the moment. I'll probably go get some water so I can make dinner. And Remington and Austin, two young men that I've been hiking with, are a little bit closer to the lake, but they're set up down here as well. So that's it for the end of day 16, and I'll see you in the morning. Recon out. Well, good morning and welcome to the morning of day 17. So camped last night at Flagstaff campsite. It rained like crazy. Just came down in buckets. So tent's wet. I wiped it down. I actually ate breakfast inside the tent. It was just raining and too wet outside. So I had dinner and breakfast inside. I'm gonna get the tent packed up. Today is gonna be a hard day. Gotta get over the Bigelows, and that's about 13 miles and a lot of vertical. I don't know how much. I don't even want to know. So it's gonna be pretty tough. And it looks like the water is not reliable up there either, so we're gonna have to carry a lot of water. So I'm gonna pack up the tent and get moving. All right, day 17, packed up and back on the trail. Got a couple miles to go to a shelter, and that has a reliable water source, so I'm only going to carry up about 700 milliliters to that point, and then I'll get water there. But according to Far Out and people I've talked to, the water sources up on the Bigelows are not reliable, so I'll need to carry up and over at least 2 liters probably, which is really going to hurt given how steep that climb is. It's not a very pretty morning. It's gray and dark and dripping, and that's kind of the way the Appalachian Trail is sometimes. So here's a view of the pond through the trees there. Not super appealing. So I'm going to stop talking and keep walking. Looks like it's starting to rain. It's about 8 a.m. and it's kind of lightly raining. This presents a conundrum because if I put rain gear on, I've still got to climb like 3,000 vertical feet, and that's just going to be a nightmare in a rain suit. The flip side is, if it rains seriously, I don't want to gain 3,000 vertical feet and arrive at the top soaking wet. So I'll have to decide about that. Remington and Austin are still breaking camp. They're behind me. They'll catch me shortly. They're so fast. Those guys, I love those guys. They crack me up. They're having such a good time. I thought that they were ahead of me yesterday, and I got to the campsite. They weren't there. I figured they'd go on to the next place. And then they showed up like half an hour later, and turns out that they had actually taken a detour off the AT they had gone to this pond and went swimming for 2 hours. So, so they were swimming, and I walked right on by them and didn't know it. So I really love like how much fun they're having out here. They've swam every day and they're just having a great time. So that's fun to see, and it's fun to hang out with them. So continue on. Starting to clear a little bit. I'm up on Little Bigelow, and then there's a fairly sharp descent down to Safford and Notch, and then I have to do the 2,000-foot ascent to the other Bigelows. Anyway, get a little bit of clearance there. So I am still descending down towards Safford Notch, and then from there, the 2,000-foot vertical climb up to the top of the first Bigelow. But I just keep seeing this, okay? And you know what this is? This is moose poop. Poop from the moose that I have not seen in 17 days. That's what this is. And I don't know where the moose is. I want to see him. I believe that is Bigelow right there. That is intimidating. Gotta get to the top of that thing today. Oh man, I'm pretty smoked. This is where I came from, and this is where I'm going. All the way up there. There's just a bunch of these. I'm climbing Avery Peak. I hope to be at the top in the next half hour. I'm really tired. All right, I broke out of the trees. I've got about 100 feet left to get to the top of Avery. And this is what I got. Just gorgeous out here. Really beautiful. Or I had to work for it though. That's kind of cool because way in the distance, looks like there's an airfield down there. It's kind of neat. Anyway, not done for the day. Still gotta get to the top of this thing, and then it's down and back up again. Okay, I've got about 1/10 of a mile to go to get to the shelter here. So today was probably one of the hardest days I've ever had backpacking anywhere. And definitely, I think, the hardest day of this trip. We went over the Bigelow Mountains. We're about 13 miles, I think. So steep, straight up, straight down, lots of rocks. So very, very difficult. No water in there anywhere. Fortunately, I carried 2 liters. I got just a little bit left. So I'm totally smoked. I'm gonna go down here, get some water, and set up and try to get some rest. Tomorrow it's into Stratton to get cleaned up and resupply. So for now, that's Recon out. Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the morning of day 18, and I'm here at Horns Pond Lean-Tos. This is where I spent the night last night after almost 13 miles over the Bigelow Mountains. Bigelows for southbounders are the first major climbs, and they were indeed pretty impressive. So my understanding going southbound is it just kind of gets more and more rugged as you go. It blends into the White Mountains of New Hampshire, which of course are pretty legendary. So it's going to be hard days, I think, at least until we get to the Whites. But amazing views, really just beautiful country. Today we're going to head 5 miles downhill, Stratton, Maine, go into the Maine Roadhouse, do laundry, showers, get cleaned up, and then I'll be back on the trail tomorrow. So I'll catch up later. For now, Semper Fi and Recon out. So this is something I'm finding amusing compared to other trails. So I'm down here, and you can see this jumble of boulders, and I'm supposed to get up there. And you just gotta climb up over that stuff, which is entertaining for sure. One thing about my videos is I kind of want to give you a taste of what it's really like out here. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and if it's hard or if I'm struggling, you're going to hear that. So just be prepared. So I'm going to put the phone away and climb up that jumble of boulders. That right there is a hoof print of a moose. And there's another one back here too. There's a lot of mud right here. Another hoof print from a moose. The same moose that's pooping everywhere that I have not yet seen in 18 days on the trail. The stealth moose, the ninja moose of Maine. Yeah, I'm cruising now. I'm about 1.5 miles away from Maine Route 27, I think. And that is the road into Stratton. And so I am about 40 minutes away from getting into town and getting a shower and laundry and some real food. And then I got some chores to do. Got to resupply, got to do some stuff online, and then back on trail tomorrow. Ooh. Well, thank you, Dick. Appreciate it.